friends to another session on experimental demonstration for subject analog and digital communication. I am Professor C.R. Parekh, Associate Professor EC, GEC Bodhasa. Today's experimental demonstration is on pulse code modulation. As you can see, we have a TDM pulse code modulation transmitter trainer from Scientech ST2103, and another one, its complementary pair is TDM pulse code modulation receiver trainer. The experiment can be done in three different modes of connection. The simplest one that we are choosing is where we are connecting the clock of the transmitter side to the clock on the receiver side, and the starting bit of the frame from the transmitter side to that of the receiver side, and the output PCM output from this side is to be given as the PCM input on this side. So these three are essential connections for mode 1 of the operation, which is supported by this trainer kit. As you can see, I have connected the output from the transmitter clock via probe into channel 1 and the output from the transmitter T0 bit to the second channel on the oscilloscope, and the frequency at which this is working is approximately 16 kilohertz, and there will be one time interval which is equivalent to 1 bit as per the operation of this circuit, and start of the frame is indicated by transmitter bit T0, and there will be totally 15 bits in a frame which is formed by this TDM PCM transmitter trainer. As you can see, there are 4 possible sources for this particular trainer, and as said, it is TDM based, time division multiplexing. So it multiplexes the samples from 2 different channels on time slot basis or time division multiplexed basis. Here, just for the demo purpose, I have initially set the 2 sources as DC1 and DC2. That means both the sources are DC sources, but since we are interested in only demonstrating the pulse code modulation for one particular signal, I have kept DC2 to 0, while I have kept some fixed value for DC1. So when we observe the frame of the 15 bits, the bits for DC2, all the bits, 7 bits for DC2 will be 0, while corresponding to DC1, the voltage level that we have set, certain number of bits will be on and the remaining will be off, and that pattern will be observed when we observe the PCM output. Now my channel 2 is actually kept 0. Channel 1 is in operation. I have set some DC value, and according to which when I take the samples from this channel 1, then certain number of bits will be on, certain number of bits will be off based on the voltage level that I have chosen. And as you can see on my oscilloscope, the similar bit pattern will be observed. I can change my DC value, and accordingly the bit pattern will change. Okay, now you can see as I change from here, the same bit will also be observed. And please note that while you are observing or reading on this oscilloscope, you should read from your right to left. So this is 1, corresponding to this, and these two bits are continuous, which is shown over here. For you to observe a steady bit pattern, earlier I had chosen a DC source so that no matter how many samples you are taking, the bit pattern will be steady. Now, since in practice we are considering the voice signal or any other analog signals, I have chosen AC source of 1 kilohertz. Now this source is given to this channel, upper channel or channel 1. Channel 2 is still disabled. By disabling I mean that I have kept the amplitude to 0, and now you can see, since this is an AC source, the amplitude is continuously changing, and hence correspondingly all the bits are looking illuminated, though it is not. So actually the number of bits which are illuminated for different samples will vary from sample to sample, because for a continuously varying amplitude, the number of bits which are on and off will change at a very fast rate, which is typically 480 kilohertz for this particular kit, because I have kept this in fast mode. See that we are observing the output from the sampler. Since channel 1 is active, we are observing the sampled version, or you can also call it a pulse amplitude modulated signal at the output of the sample, and values. There will be a 7-bit encoding from this circuit. Since the sample values are continuously changing, the bit pattern for each of the sample also changes, which I can observe from here by zooming this. As you can see, the bit patterns are changing from sample to samples, because effectively the amplitude for each one of them is changing. So this is how my sampled signal and the corresponding PCM output looks like. Alright. So the output from the PCM transmitter is directly given as the input to the PCM receiver over here. This is basically group of bits which we are considering for each of the sample. From the group of the bits that we are sending, this circuit is framing the corresponding analog values by digital to analog converter that we have, and after this we are having a low pass filter at the output, and the output from the low pass filter is given to channel 2, and channel 1 is the direct input of 1 kilohertz from the source. So you can see that both the signals are very well matched. And consider the lag or delay which is observed in the reconstructed signal or the received signal, because whenever you are incorporating filtering, there will always be some time lag when you are reconstructing the signal.